That'd be good. Topical survival of the fittest idea.
So one of the big gimmicks with this particular game is, as he said, it's sort of a vaguely political thing. But here's the trick to the game: you have a voting system where you have a huge group of people and everyone is a supposed candidate. The person that gets the lowest amount of votes or the most negative votes gets killed off. Also, the person that gets the highest amount of votes gets killed off. And so, the true survival of the fittest here is pretty much through the power of mediocrity.
I finally can excel at something.
And so,
Or so you think.
Right.
and so for now we've called the game Killer Vote. The intent was sort of to create a game that ultimately is sort of like a Facebook app where it gets a lot of people in huge groups to sort of like do these weird votes where they try to get votes in to get the highest person killed and get the lowest person killed. And so to incorporate the balloon idea, we made the little face a balloon. And your character's name is Awesome. And here's all the people that you can vote for in a particular setting. And so I'll go ahead and vote up on Steve. So an up vote pretty much just means you like that person and you want them to get towards the higher position of power, and you can also down vote somebody, which puts them in a lower position of power. So you vote, and then you get the results of the tally at the end. You see the people in the list. In particular, 2 people have been taken off the list. We weren't able to come up with a way to present that visually, but basically 2 people have been killed off the list. Luckily it wasn't you, but you were the second to last. So you get the tiny red balloon with the
Scumbag.
The scumbag thing going on. We call him the scumbag, but it's sort of a pirate balloon with a little eye patch on his balloon. So you get the first set of ranks. In this case, this person got highest, so we'll just vote them up, vote them down. Now you have 9 people left. And as you can see, because we're going on a round-by-round basis, your position can fluctuate like crazy. And so now you have an extremely inflated ego that you can... And again, one of the rules in the game is you can't vote for yourself, obviously, so you kind of just vote for other people and get them killed off while trying to maintain your own mediocrity. So you vote, and so I went down in popularity this time. For this, a lot of the voting is pretty much randomized on this particular version, but we had an intent of having different forms of AI that sort of just try to look at the most popular, look at the least popular, and vote based on that. Due to time, we weren't able to, so it's mostly randomized at this point, up, down. It just continues, and you got killed. However, you can still keep going to next and next, and so you can actually see how the game ends.
That's a balloon popping.
Yeah. And so there are various things. Let's see if we can try and force the king. You can also choose not to vote, so I can just keep clicking the votes, and that just doesn't account for anything. And if we're lucky, we'll see what the king looks like. Oh, we're dead. But
is it the same effect when you, whether you lose from being too high or too low?
Yes, it's the same. So when you die, in both cases, it is the explosion. We had the intent. We were trying to get one where you died from the lowest one, sort of a deflation thing, but Moto was not happy with that. Success.
If you guys ever played Mafia, it's a little bit like that too.
Yeah.
Because
ultimately, once we get to a sort of Facebook multiplayer audience, the intent is more to try and get people to collude with one another to get people offed, either through upvotes or downvotes, and sort of. We also had the intent of once you get to a certain area, once you get to certain ranks, We have the idea of tiers, where if you're within the higher amounts of popular people, you have certain powers, like you can like secretly execute things, and it would affect the voting for the next round. And we had basically plans like that, sort of ways that people that were really powerful could just abuse the power, so that they would most likely get killed in the next round.
And also ways where free to maneuver, more balance involved instead of just random voting deciding whether you lose or win.
Right.
And you eventually will die.
You can try the king's picture.
Well, we're not gonna get it in this round, but we'll try to force the king. But I think
It's unbelievable.
yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's completely random, so it's yeah. It's,
You have to download it to find the king.
For $99.95.
yes. And that's our game.
Awesome.